Carla, we'll call the meeting to order.
Councilor Stillson,
Here.
LaBrie,
Here.
Roy, Tania Costello, Crampus.
Here. I should have said the Human Resources meeting is being called to order at, what is it, 6:03? Yeah, 6:03, okay. And we got a quorum, there's only 4 on that committee, right? Five, yeah, so we got 3, so we're okay. First order of business is, Joshua Clark, who has called in and said he's got a conflict and that, he will be postponed call of the chair. That means then he'll be at the next meeting, whenever that's gonna be.
I'll make a motion to postpone to the call of the chair.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I guess we gotta say roll call, right? Roll call,
Councilor Stillson,
yes.
LaBrie,
Yes.
Roy, Tania Costello, Crampus.
Yes.
Call of the chair passes.
Do we have to sign it, Dan?
Yeah. Still have to sign it. You'll have to remind me, I haven't been down here in a while. Okay,
We'll keep you on the straight and narrow, Jim, don't you worry.
okay. The second order of business is the mayoral appointment of Lester Gagne as a member of the Mobile Home Rent Control Board to serve in such office for a term expiring on the 1st of January, 2025. Is Lester here?
He's on Zoom.
Yes, I am.
Lester's on Zoom, okay. Anybody have any questions?
No, Jim, if I could, it's me, Jim, over here.
Seems to be working.
Yeah, no, there's,
Working good.
Yeah.
See if we can turn that one down a little bit.
Okay.
yeah, I just want to, thank, Lester for coming and doing it again. He's done a good job. And, you know, it's a tough one to go home, rental board, so, I'm in favor of voting for him.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I know Mr. Gagne. Hi, Les, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. How's everything going on the rent control board?
I think we had an excellent meeting last week, and Joshua's doing a great job as being the chairman. Fully support him.
Okay.
Yeah, he had called in and couldn't make it tonight, but he still wants to stay on it. So he'll be at our next meeting.
I don't think he
For
can
your-
hear you. You gotta talk into this too.
For your information, he's still interested, but he couldn't make it tonight, so he'll be at our next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And congratulations for being willing to serve again.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments anybody have to make?
No.
Okay, the committee will vote,
I'll make a motion to approve.
yeah, is this?
Yeah, that's the old one, so might as well
Yeah.
sign that one.
Yeah,
In order. We got plenty of time, because nobody's here.
Jim, could you just, acknowledge, I believe, Councilor Lopez is on. I see.
anybody on Zoom?
Acknowledge she's on it.
Yeah, Counselor Lopez, I'm on Zoom. I had dialed in, but was able to get in.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to add to this?
Not at the moment, but thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let's see.
That's the old one.
Here we go, here. Mayor appointment, okay.
Yeah, so we'll pass that one around.
Yeah.
Sign it first, and we'll pass it around.
We should take a roll call on it too.
Yeah.
Councilor Stillson,
Yes.
LaBrie,
Yes.
Roy, Tania Costello, Crampus.
Yes.
Oh, anybody else on Zoom?
I hear you.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks.
Les. You're all set.
All right,
you.
thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. Be well, everybody.
Yeah, you too. Well.
Okay. Mayoral appointment of Daniel Mesha as a member of the Chicopee Electric Light Commission to serve in such office for the term expiring on the 1st of January, 2026. I don't see Danny out here. I know Danny very well, and I don't see him.
Motion to postpone to the call of the chair?
Okay?
Second?
Can we just postpone until the next one in case he does come in, because if he refuse to call the chair?
Well, if he comes in at the end, the chairman will call.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it that way.
Okay.
No, I know Danny very well. I'm surprised he's not here. I go by his house every time I go to St. Anne's Church. Okay, let's see, what is it today? Today's what?
Need a roll call for that?
Yeah, roll call. Okay.
Counselor Sillton,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Roy, Piniac Costello, Crampus.
Yes.
Okay.
Might as well sign it, I'll pass it around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, today's the 15th?
I'd sign it here and we'll move it around.
Yeah. Do we have to make a roll call?
We did, she just,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure. Although it's a little bit stale, I haven't done this for a while.
That's understandable.
It's amazing.
Back in the swing of things in no time.
Oh, yeah. You're the same.
oh, you broke the last one.
I know. The year before.
The year before, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll flip that one over.
yeah.
You signed it, yeah, flip it.
We do the roll call?
We did.
Okay, thanks. Okay, the mayoral's appointment of Julia Sudal as a member of the zoning board of appeals to serve in such office for a term expiring on the 1st of January, 2026. Is she here?
Nope.
She has, this is the second
It's the second
time we
time, yeah.
called her, yeah, so, it's the will of the committee as to what we want to do. I don't think we need to carry her on more than once.
We have to the discussion of the board, if you want to give one more opportunity or motion to.
I would say, we motion to postpone the call of the chair, but, that we contact her and say, this is, you've missed twice.
Yeah.
You don't come a third time.
Do you call them, they call in and give a reason why they're not coming, Carla?
She did not, call at all this time, the first time either.
This is the third time?
This is the second time, no,
Yeah.
call or reason.
And Dan Mazars didn't, Masha didn't call in either?
No, nobody said they can't come. The only one that said that he couldn't come was this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I think we should send Julia back to the mayor for, spend our second time to evaluate it and put it back in again if she shows up. Have her redo it.
I guess it's a question of, do we want to go 3 times?
It's up to you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Okay, you throw the ball though. What would you advise us on something like this?
Assume that she wants to serve, I'm not exactly sure why, I can certainly call her along with Agnes in the morning to make sure that the next time around, we have a definitive answer why she's not coming.
We could have her wrong address, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe one more time, I'll make.
Okay, postpone call of the chair, call it.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I'll make a motion, postpone call of the chair.
Okay, I'll call a roll.
Okay, well, anybody on Zoom?
Yeah,
Councilor Lopez?
don't hear anybody at this moment, so.
No, I think it's a good idea to put for the call of the chair.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Sillton,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Roy, Piniac Costello, Crampus.
Yes.
Okay. think that's it.
Minutes.
That's all those in favor?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of, January 24th, 2023.
Roll call?
Counselor Singleton,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Lori, and Ann Costello Santos.
Yes. I can bring it over to her. Oh, wait, it was minutes we were approving.
We didn't need the minutes.
Okay,
I don't know if you want, I mean, you have two choices, if you wanna take a recess for maybe 5 or 10 minutes in case Daniel shows up. 'Cause if you close it, if you adjourn, we can't reopen it. I don't think our next meeting is till 6:30, so if you wanna give them a.
Take a 5-minute recess.
yeah, sure, we'll take a 5-minute recess. All those in favor?
I think we gotta call the roll for that, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Counselor Singleton,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Lori, and Ann Costello. Santos.
Yes,
Okay.
we're adjourned for 5 minutes.
Okay, we gotta do the minutes too. Did we do the minutes? No.
We already did the.
Yeah, we did the
Okay,
minutes.
all right.
We just done an adjourn, so we'll still
Okay.
in an open meeting.
So the mics are still on.
Okay.
So, about practice, people can hear
Okay. Roll call. Okay. All right.
Mike?
I think that's item 2, we can't arbitrarily. I just don't think attempt to try to do that, so we say that. Then we just flag it, it's automatic. The state flag is automatic, POW is automatic.
You know, those are the
Our
same
flag has to be.
emails from the last time and this time I got from the mayor's office, they're the same. So they came right from the mayor's office, all the emails of people that aren't here. I wanna thank you for your help.
Well, you're welcome, thanks for the email,
Yeah, the mayor's office, the emails.
because I saw Chris's email. Oh, yeah, I think we took it down tonight, like,
That was,
okay, that was like
and Lester
really
said,
quick, so I'm thinking it may have already been on the schedule, we just happened to be out there today, because I'm like,
so Lester told me he'd be here,
I had to do a double take, I'm like,
and he wouldn't be.
I know, I
Say that Joshua.
like, he did it, he didn't think he was gonna do it, he did it.
Thanks.
It's down, was one email that I got.
Yeah,
Tree is down, I said, really? I said, that was good.
because when I drove by this morning, I was like, you know, to see it in the daylight, I'm like, yeah, it probably looks like it should come down, they clean up the limb, and then when I saw his email, like, oh, it's done, like, wow, that was pretty quick.
Hi, how are you? You look good.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say, wow, that was magic.
I'm not gonna say I have that kind of, I'm not gonna say, oh, I have that kind of power, 'cause it was like,
Where's Danny?
Thanks again, Chris.
I've known him forever. I'm very surprised he's not here.
Yeah, I know, it's really strange that.
Maybe
Yeah.
these are the two things that are in your box downstairs. That's what they were talking about before. You can look at them, I don't care. Sharon, I thought that Sharon said they can't do nothing about it.
No, it's not on our agenda.
Where's Mary Beth?
right there.
You can have those, Jim.
Yeah. I saw you last week, if I.
Well, I was quick, I didn't stay.
just be aware we're still in a meeting and it's still live.
Don't talk about it.
No, it's just. Run,
Do we accept the minutes?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we took a roll call and all that, so we're all set on that.
We're all set now. Let's see what
I
time.
see you got a haircut too. Looks like you got a little bit of a haircut.
I lost some of it.
Oh, okay.
The medications they were giving me over the last 6 months.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It was, you know, was getting like it was going anyway, you know.
Yep.
So what the hell, I just,
Might as well cut it, 'cause it's like,
yeah, that's,
it's not gonna grow back
uh,
anytime soon.
no, no. Yeah, no. I was losing it anyway, you know, little by little. It just got accelerated.
I think what the issue was. People have been caught in state sales, not tags, as many as they want. That's where he's coming from, is that they've got to, tighten it up so that state sales, you know, so it should be tag sales slash state sales. Following me?
Yeah,
It's gonna be, that's what I asked him, wondering what's what, you know?
yeah,
And that's the issue, is that by people calling them estate sales rather than tag sales, they're not part of this prohibition of the ordinance.
so what we gotta do is file another ordinance.
Yeah, it'll have to be doing that.
The whole part of the deal was that he did the first one. Yeah, no problem. Should have known. Next thing I know, she sat out. She just gave her a few more months. And I'm like, a few more months? What's going on now? And I was very there. There's language. Realtor comes in with them. Goes to the paper. People have got no aid, and they file a counter. For land, and you put the security deposit. We're all rolled into that now. So I said, look, I don't do it. All right, you see it? Saying, hey, I'll get her out. I said, well, that's fine, don't put on that counter, because usually part of the summary process gets dismissed the counterclaims, you're gonna have to do the counterclaim. And I said, so he came to my office and I gave him, the court actually gave him. So we went to talk to Jerry Burr, he had to get around the street, hey, I'll take a case, you can ask him. Oh, yeah, get you these copies. Which is not unreasonable, because he gave it into an act. I'm sure get people somewhere else. Ever is easy. Last time I had 4 siblings, one Jim Reganis, you know Jim Reganis.
I know that.
I don't like being moved
I couldn't get along with the person.
My brother said without them, nothing.
Jim, how you doing? How you feeling?
Hanging in there. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Not too bad.
What are you gonna do anyway? I'm curious. What are you gonna do? Give me a little hint anyway.
I'll announce at the next meeting. Oh, yeah, yeah.
We adjourned for 5 minutes, didn't we? So I think it's.
Yeah, we're
We should close it down.
I think so.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, I think we gotta come back and then we gotta adjourn, right?
Yeah. So we gotta call it in?
We gotta, motion to return to the regular order of business?
All
Roll
those
call.
in favor, roll call?
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn since the other applicant has not shown up yet.
So moved. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion, we have adjourned.
We adjourned?
We are adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor, roll
We
call?
already did that.
No, we did, oh, we did, that was a roll call,
That
okay.
was a roll call.
Okay, all right.
We're all even, Stephen.
Okay.
Reboot it.
Is it good?
You should, did we do the minutes? We didn't do the minutes, did we?
We did the minute.
We did the
We
minutes.
did that before we,
Okay, all right,
before we recessed.
okay. So we're done with this.
We're done. I'll give it back to Carl. I'll get you your other one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's what.
What'd they do with that pen? Did they give it back to you?
No, you can have it.
I don't know, where the hell are they doing it?
I don't know. Oh, I see it. I got it.
Oh, it dropped on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Right into your shoe. There we go.
Got it. Thank you.
Can we have the other one?
I'm gonna go over to Mr. Tillerson. I just go this out of the way.
Huh?
So this needs to be, I already talked to Dan, it needs to be amended, it's just a small change. There'll be item 11. It just needs an amendment on the floor. It's not supposed to be that, it's supposed to have isolated stop signs, not that. So Dan said we just can white it out tomorrow.
We'll light it up
Yeah,
tomorrow.
so it's just an amendment, if you want to stick that on top of it.
Yeah, so all I gotta do now is change it down here, isolated stop sign.
Yeah.
Which one is it again?
It'll be, oh, I got my glasses.
Isolated stop sign.
Yep, right here. That's what
Okay.
the stop signs. And I'll just be
And
amending.
we'll just cut this one off?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll white it out.
Okay,
So that's all set. You just can stick that on here when it comes to the time.
okay, thank you.
And then, this is from Bill. He won't be here tonight, but that's his input on all those things. And if you need to know anything else, here's some extra copies of these too. There's a bunch of extra copies in here. And this is stuff from DPW, engineer, Doug Ellis stuff.
Okay,
And then
good.
here's some extra copies.
What's this stuff?
That's just the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are the ones that didn't
Here's
have
an
any
ex-
changes.
Just an extra couple.
Okay, you
This
can,
is just the, the beginning of everything, I'll show you what's,
you know,
agenda, the agenda.
there's 2 copies there?
Yeah, just give them an extra copy, I always do that, you can throw it out there,
Yeah, okay,
so you don't get, put it out,
yeah,
stick it out there for the guys or whatever, it's just the same thing.
okay.
So if you're
What time is it up there? I'm gonna glare.
About 25 after,
Got about 5 minutes. Huh?
give or take.
Doug Ellis has a revision on number 10, Borbo Street. So there's just 2 revisions on Borbo Street, if you want to write it on the front of that.
No, I'm just gonna do that. I'll just read it from here. I'll go from here to here.
Yeah, these are just my
You
notes.
want the letter from Doug, or
What's that?
you want the letter from Doug?
And I just need a,
No, that might be an extra copy.
those are just notes I have on there, I don't want you to get confused.
Okay, so do you want me to have this or not?
Keep the hat?
Yeah, that's for you.
Okay.
That's from,
That's
Councilor
Kushein.
Kushein.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
These
go
are
ahead.
just revisions. Doug has revisions on these 2 items.
Okay,
You can flip that to the right spot. I have it flipped over.
okay, this one here we can do.
Yeah, I think it is too. I don't think you need the rest of it for that. You can use it for electrical driving cases. I don't think you need it for zoning.
Tom, what do you got?
It's,
I think I'm gonna fight, then the developer,
we got about, 2 minutes.
he wants me at the meeting, and I said, oh, I'm not gonna go. You know, he wants to host a neighborhood meeting.
I forgot to ask, I forgot to say,
Mr. Tilton, do you have any questions before I sit down? Do you have any questions?
no,
before
I forgot to say if anybody, photographing or,
Oh, I'll put that down.
okay. I didn't,
Anything that.
Okay, do you have any,
Do you want me to give, $10 for
I can get it out of my wallet.
your wallet should be in your,
You know, it doesn't come out that easy. Just leave me be for now.
You're doing a good job. Keeping them straight.
Yeah. Okay, this meeting, February, this is from,
Yeah, but you can go. I appreciate that.
Just make sure that they,
I wanna fly. Oh, hey, Fred.
Oh, any committee.
any commitment.
Carla, is this the latest one here?
That's what I would walk out, but I,
Blue one?
just you.
that was a copy, my copy, I just put notes on it, but that's the, you can use that one if you want.
Okay, all right.
There's just 2 revisions from Doug.
Okay, the red ones are already on here.
Those are all Doug's
Okay,
stuff right here.
so we'll use this one
Yep, that's all,
and this one.
yep, that's the one in the file.
Okay, all right. Get rid of this before I forget about it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, right. Call the, ordinance committee meeting to order at 6:30. Call the roll. Carla?
Tilton,
Here.
Crampton,
Here.
Stelzner,
Here.
Labrie,
Here.
Roy.
Okay, is there anyone recording or this meeting or audiovisual taping it? Seeing none, we'll continue with the first order of business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could you announce who's on Zoom? I think Councilor Lopez is.
Okay, Councilor Lopez on Zoom?
Thank you.
Okay, okay, then we'll just ask anybody if, at each question whether there's anybody on Zoom or not.
Yep.
But I'll take care of that. Remind me if I forget. I should forget because I've been Zooming for a long time now. First, order of business. Let's see. Item 7, I got to open my folder. Chapter 7, ordinance revisions, insert of the position of intern into the following departments: police, fire, human resources, mayor, library, health, and parks and recreation. Insertion of the position of intern / co-op into the following departments: central maintenance, garage, DPW parks, DPW highway, DPW forestry, DPW sewer, DPW water, DPW engineering, and police. Any questions or discussion on that?
I think this was to allow the use of interns in these departments.
Yeah.
It actually has to be put into, the.
It's chapter 7, yeah, okay.
I just hope we can get interns, better than we can, hire employees, and, hopefully those interns will turn into employees in the future. And, we'll start early now, and, hopefully they'll come back. Thank you.
Yes, through the chair, again, this ordinance will allow the function of them to be allowed to be paid, correct? That's the reason we're doing this. interns have to be paid.
Exactly, so at the last committee meeting, we did approve salaries or
You wanna come here?
right, so there needs to be a mechanism for payment, so at the last city council meeting, the council did approve the monies for these particular positions, so we need to add them to chapter 7, which is the vehicle for payment.
Right. Any other questions on this one?
Anyone on Zoom?
Anyone on Zoom? Hearing
Nope.
none, we'll move it forward.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Roll call?
Counselor Pilton,
Yes.
Krampus,
Yes.
Stillwater,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Roy.
Tillotson? Yes. What's the date today, the 15th?
Yep.
15, yeah.
Okay.
Just sign it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll sign it and we'll. You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
No, we're for it. Oh, okay, all right. I got it. I'll put it over, yeah, you signed it.
Okay, good enough. Okay. Item 2, display of flags on City Hall Plaza. Is there any public input on that one? Mike, would you come up, please, then?
I can explain why the mayor put this ordinance forward and what the thought is behind that. So for several years now, we've been trying to celebrate different cultures and celebrate different events in the city. Normally, there's a request for a proclamation or some type of formal request, and then we raise a flag as a ceremony to bring the community together and have a little celebration. We've done that for the Irish for Parade Day, the Polish, the Italians. We started one year. They were grateful to allow us to raise their flag. They're looking forward to an annual event. French Canadian flag we raised for the first time last year. They're looking forward to having that as an annual event to celebrate their culture. Also last year, in order to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Air Force, we did a flag raising of the Air Force flag. Puerto Rican cultural, we celebrated that. So there's certain groups within the city that ask us to celebrate their culture, celebrate some activity. Another request we got was to donate life, to promote organ donation. So we did a flag raising proclamation to celebrate organ donation. The issue came about, I guess, because the city of
Can I give
Boston,
you
the city of Boston has the same process that Chicopee does. Anyone who comes forward and asks to have their flag raised,
You gotta move it
we will
around.
raise their flag.
You gotta move it around, though.
In Boston,
Oh, okay.
a
Good. I
Christian group
gotta
came
pay
forward
attention.
and wanted their flag raised. The city of Boston said no, it would probably be a problem with the First Amendment establishment of religion. And a satanic group also said, well, if you're gonna raise a Christian flag, you're gonna have to raise our flag as well. So the city of Boston took the position that that would be promoting religion. Since it is in front of City Hall in Boston, it looked like actual city promoted speech. Supreme Court looked at the case, it rose up through the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, no, you can't say this is city speech because you've never said no to any group that asked to have their flag raised. As a matter of fact, the mayor of Boston and the mayor of Montreal made a bet on the Stanley Cup, and you raised the Canadian flag for their team. So obviously, this is not city speech, this is public speech. So you have to do something to make it city speech. And what the city of Boston did is put forward the ordinance that we're putting forward to you as well, to allow this to now become city speech, not a public forum. Only groups from within the city that come forward, request a proclamation from the mayor or request a resolution from the city council, will be allowed to have their flag flown in front of the city hall. We'd like to continue this because people have become accustomed to having their flag raised. They're proud to have their cultural flag raised. We'd like to promote events like the 75th anniversary of the Air Force. So we'd like to continue the practice, but we don't want Al-Qaeda coming in and asking to raise their flags, since the Air Force fought against them and many of our veterans have fought against them. It would be an insult to the residents of the city of Chicopee. I'm just using that as an example. We haven't got that request. But right now, if we got that request, we would have to grant it because there's no ordinance saying this is not public speech, it's city speech only. So that's the reason for the ordinance request. We want to have some control over whose flag we fly, make sure it's appropriate for the residents of Chicopee. We want it to be promoted only by a resident of Chicopee asking us to raise the flag. We wouldn't want to have it open to outside groups. I know, Dan, you can remember from law school, the Skokie case where the neo-Nazis wanted to raise the flag and have a parade through Skokie, Illinois, which was 70% Jewish and had probably 200 survivors of a concentration camp living there. It was obviously going to be a problem. The city said no, but unfortunately it's free speech and they were allowed to do that. So we're trying to put a mechanism in there to protect the residents, protect the peace of the city, and make this city speech, not public speech. And if there's any questions, the MMA is backing the ordinance, and they're the ones who put forward the ordinance at their recent meeting, asking cities and towns to consider it.
You okay?
Yeah, if there's any questions or anything.
Any questions from the audience here? Frank?
Yeah, so I agree with our freedom of speech and protection. But Mike, I do have a question regarding, I had a discussion with you in the mayor's office today, is how long do we allow a flag to be flown? And the reason I ask that is I know for a fact, if you have it for a month and a half, certain other organizations that have their function in the middle of that, you have that happen at a week, where they want their flag raised. So I don't know if we would think about making it, we want to be able to allow them to do it on their date, maybe 5 days, a week, so that other people don't have a full month. So something that is on that same month could occur. It may not be the same day, but it could occur within that month. You have this 12 months a year. And if you have a different people asking for a month, you're not going to have a large amount of people requesting it. Yeah, Frank, that's a great suggestion. We hadn't thought of that. It wasn't part of the City of Boston ordinance, but you're right. We don't want to have one group get an advantage over another. Unfortunately, for St. Patrick's Day, the parade, we've always raised the flag on March 17th. And then 2 days later, we raised the Polish flag. So the Irish flag was up for 2 days, and then the Polish flag was up for about 2 weeks. So in a sense, it's not fair. That would be probably something that you may want to consider in your deliberations. So to the attorney, Dan, couldn't we do something like that? Put time, like a week, and give him the opportunity, but just as a week?
Yeah, you could certainly draft the ordinance such that you have maybe no more than 5 days, or at the discretion of the mayor and or a resolution of the city council. I mean, I would assume that.
You could put that in a proclamation or a resolution if you wanted. I really, when I said this earlier, I have concerns at the discretion of, and the only reason I say that is, someone's gonna say, oh, well, you allow that one for 3 weeks, you allow this one. I like to be black and white and say, this is our rules. You're there for a week, because it's not fair for putting the city council, if they make a resolution to do it, nor is it give the mayor, you put someone in a situation where, I'll come them and I'll come not me. So I think that black and white is the way to go, and not the discretion, to be fair to all of the residents that want to bring something forward. You may have more that this gets out now that want to do it. It's just my suggestion is, not at the discretion of, because of the fact that I just think that we should put a deadline date on it and, give them at least a week. Be fair to everybody in the city that wants to raise the flag. 'Cause no doubt you'll see more and more coming, because I can tell you, a couple of years ago, we had very few. But all of a sudden, we have them a couple times a month. So it's gonna be more. So how do you be fair here? So this is just a suggestion to the committee. Thank you.
Anybody, any other public input on this one? That's my public input.
I guess the mayor, if I could too, Mr. Chairman, maybe we can do it as first come, first served too. Knowing that, you have something on the 17th of March and you have something on the 12th of March. So whoever gets it, forgets it on our date would be the first one to use it. Because that's a good point. March 12th and March 17th is only a couple of days away. Who gets it? And every year, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's gotta be a mechanism in here to say, here, we don't put it through every year, you have to apply for it every year, and then everybody apply at the beginning of the year, if they would like it at that year, something to that effect, where we all have a say in that. And that was just a good point that Mike just brought up about, too, only has enough days, is that fair to them? Thank you.
My suggestion would be that we, ask the mayor to file that change for the next meeting. Rather than, because what we have here so far is, I have no issue with, but I agree with you. I think that there's gotta be a time limit, otherwise one could get 5 weeks and one could get 2 days, so. And Mike is here, so he'll know that, so he can ask the mayor to do that, so that we'll have a consistency, all the way through.
Does the attorney agree with that?
Sure, and maybe what we could do is table this to or postpone it to the next meeting. I can certainly speak to the mayor. My suggestion would be something to the effect under subsection B. It would say something to the effect, said approved flag shall be allowed to fly no more than 48 hours per calendar year, or whatever the mayor proposes. But if you postpone it, and I can speak to the mayor and come up with a time frame, but that would have been my suggestion. I'll certainly run it by the mayor.
If you could, put in there, if they have to apply themselves every year, it's not gonna be guaranteed the same person every year will have that date. Because it's not fair to someone else that wants to try to get their date in. Agree with that?
Of course, absolutely, yeah, sure.
We have to have a request process, exactly.
So do you wanna postpone this one, or to the call of the chair and until the mayor gets back to us?
Right, I can work with the mayor.
Okay, Bob?
Just one question, through the chair to Michael. Do people come in now and want a certain date? How is that done now?
Generally, they do have a certain day, like the parade always usually wanted it on March 17th. The Polish community always wanted it on March 19th. The Air Force wanted it on their 75th anniversary day to run for a week. So they do come in with specific dates. Donate for Life, the organ donation, when they want to do a promotion, they usually do it in the month of May, because that's Organization Month. So they do have a date, they come forward with a date of request. And we try to honor it if we can.
It was changed to like 5 days, maximum you could fly it.
Well, so right now, that did come up with the parade, and the parade actually moved the date from the 17th to March 10th, because they thought it kind of silly to raise it for 2 days. And the 10th is the day before, I think, the Calling Ball for one of their events. So they're gonna tie it into their event and make a bigger deal of it.
So 5 days is a good number also?
It depends on the group. Some have like organ donation month, so they would actually probably want to fly it for the entire month. But if you think 5 days is long enough, it's up to you. What we really concentrate on is the ceremony and getting them some publicity for their group, the recognition for the group. So with the proclamation and the raising of the flag, that's probably the most important aspect of the event to them. It's not necessarily how it applies.
Mr. Chairman, my hand is raised, just so you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
June,
I was also going to add something along the lines of what I believe it was just Mike who was speaking. Said, I've been involved with some of the flag raisings, and I don't necessarily think it's a good idea for us to impose a time limit like that. I mean, if this becomes a continuous issue, which it has not, then like we could propose it then. I do think that the moment we start putting restrictions on it, we do restrict how people can celebrate. And for example, like he said, like there are months that sometimes are celebrated, and there are times when like something else might impede on the month, but there's never been an issue where like somebody is upset that we are taking down a flag to celebrate something else as well. And sometimes flags do get to like fly for a couple of weeks because the situation calls for a celebration that is that long. I know that there was a overlap between Italian Heritage Month and another nationality. I'm not sure which one it was, but I know that there was some overlap, and nobody was upset that the other one got taken down to put up Italian Heritage Month. Like nobody was upset about that. But I do think that we actually create a little bit more of a hurdle if we try to put a time restriction on it rather than just letting it be as it flows right now. And no group has complained that like, oh, my flag's not up for long enough. I want that other flag to be taken down. Like people just kind of work around it. If we start having more, then we can, have that conversation later. But I think it actually creates an issue that like is not an issue right now, trying to solve an issue that's a non-issue.
Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, it did become an issue with the Irish and the, what was the other flag that was, the flag that, St. Patrick's and the.
St. Joseph's.
And St. Joseph.
It wasn't really an issue because the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee didn't.
They never did before, but they do it on the year before, as you mentioned. So I guess my point is, I get what Councilor Lopez is talking about, but I just think there's gonna be, we can leave it that way, but I think you're gonna find that more and more people are gonna wanna do it. And so every time someone's gonna wanna do it, and then how do they go about, putting it up in the middle of a month if the city council will have to go and we change our ordinance to do it? So whether it's 1 or 2 weeks, whether it's off the check, I don't think the only needs to have it, 2 to 3, 4 weeks, a whole month, if no more people available to use it. I just want it so that everybody can use it.
Yeah,
And
Mr. Chair, I can respond.
That, but I still think that, we would have more people, using it in the future.
She's got her hand up again.
Mr. Lopez, second time.
I didn't know we were counting film. So I hear you, Councilor Laflamme. And again, if we do need to address that in the future, we can. The beauty of having discretion and it being at the discretion of the mayor and the council is that if something like that does come up, then we aren't bound to a time restriction and we can make decisions based on what we think is best for the city. So like right now with the Polish flag that you're talking about and the Irish flag, like the Irish flag is being flown for about 7 days is what I'm hearing. If you put a 5-day limit, you're limiting the amount of celebrations, what days can be celebrated. If you put any limit on it, you're really kind of limiting the length of the celebration. It also limits the month-long celebration. So again, if people do start using it more and we want more of these events, then it is at our discretion as a city to decide how long those flags fly for. And if it becomes an actual issue, which I really don't foresee because it hasn't, people are working around it. That issue with the Irish flag is not an issue. They worked around it. If people don't work around it, we address it. If not, we allow people to keep working around it and it's at our discretion. It's adding restriction where I don't think it's really necessary.
Any other comments?
I have a comment.
Sure.
I'm Irish.
The microphone, yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm Irish, I'm Polish. So I'm not offended if the Irish, as a granddaughter of Irish immigrants, I'm not offended. If the Irish flag, I don't know about the lawyer, but my heritage is very Irish and I'm not offended.
I'm as French as the day is long.
He's just not a St. Patrick's Day.
You know what, my opinion is a fly on the day of, and that's it.
So, as an Irish
You got a day of celebration.
granddaughter and as a Polish granddaughter, I don't think it's that much of a deal. And believe me, I'm very, very Irish. You knew that. Thank you.
Any other comments on that? Anything on Zoom?
Just, I think I'd like to send it back to the mayor just to see if he wants to put in a time limit. And, you know, they can discuss it there and bring it back to us. You know, time is not of the essence, right now. And, you know, now that he knows that, you know, they didn't even talk about the time limit, prior to this. I know they got a lot of requests for them and, you know, I know there's no trouble now, but there might be in the future. There might, you know, we might have more and more groups that want to put up there. So I'd just like to send it back to him, and if he brings it back the way it is, then I'd vote for it. But let's give him the opportunity to put a time limit in it if he wants to. My opinion.
Anybody on the committee have any idea what they want to do with it?
I agree with, Gary, we should probably send it back to the mayor's office and have him, you know, vet it out based on the comments that have come up.
Well, yeah, he will have full knowledge of what we talked about because Mike's here.
Motion to send it back to the mayor's office.
All in favor?
Do you want to postpone it to allow me to speak to him, and then we can put it on
Yeah.
the next agenda?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can do it that way. I'll postpone this to the call of the chair.
Please.
Okay?
Postpone and call it, chair.
All right.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Brackett,
Yes.
Double,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Roy.
I'll sign it.
Oh, I don't know what you were getting at.
We'll get rid of it and we'll everybody sign it and I'll flip it over.
Okay.
All set. I'm flipping it over.
Okay. Okay, number 3. Okay, be it ordained by the city council that the code of the city of Chicopee for the year 1991 as amended be and is hereby further amended as follows. Delete chapter 169-13E and insert in place thereof bulky waste such as discarded furniture, mattresses, large electronics, tires, floor coverings, large appliances, and similar items can be picked up through the city's curbside bulk pickup program. Disposal of construction, demolition debris, commercial bulk waste, hazardous waste, and regular household trash are not eligible for pickup and shall be the responsibility of the owner. Any discussion on that? Seeing for hearing. This directly affects, DPW. Do you have any concerns with that, or is that pretty much what we do anyway?
I believe that's all.
Microphone, please?
from what the language looks like, you're just reiterating the bulk pickup program?
Right.
I believe that's what Counselor Corshane wanted, was that apparently stuff on your website didn't match the ordinance, so I think that's why he was revising it to read this so that it would match.
The 15 today again?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you pick up tires? Okay.
Everything, there's a list of, all the items that we pick up around the city website and through the permit. Permit, it has a list where you select on what you receive for. I feel like it should just reference the full pickup program, because you're creating a definitive list, and if that list ever changes, then you have to go back again. So if you wanna, or do you wanna just say, disposal of construction demo, just remove the first sentence and just state the second sentence, because that's all you're trying to differentiate, right?
Just remove the word bulky?
No, remove that first sentence entirely and just state that disposal of construction demo, pollution debris, commercial bulk waste, hazardous waste, and regular household trash are not eligible for pickup with the bulk waste pickup program, the curbside.
Okay, so the only thing you went on there, left on there is disposal of construction from there on?
So if you remove the first sentence, because all you're doing is listing the items that are in the program, but if anything were to change about what we could pick up with the program, then you're having to change the ordinance again.
Okay,
But if the goal here is just to identify what's not eligible to pick up, which I think is the most important, there would be listing that disposal of the C and D, which is construction and demolition debris, commercial bulk waste, hazardous waste, and then regular household trash is picked up curbside, but not with the bulk waste pickup. And you can't pay to have us pick up additional household trash, we just pick up the items that are listed on the site.
okay. So the bulk, go ahead, Dan.
So I think the purpose of this is, in our current ordinance under 169-13E, it references the old system where we used to pick it up at curbside, which we do not anymore. So I think he's just trying to make it consistent, so.
We do, we have a paid program now, it's just not free.
Right, it's picked up through the city
I'm gonna come.
city's curbside bulk pickup program. So it should say just bulk waste, right? Bulk waste can be picked up through the city's curbside bulk pickup disposal program, disposal of construction.
Yeah, these are just not the things that
Right,
are
so
picked
we'll
up
strike
through
that.
the bulk pickup program.
So we'll just strike that and just put bulk
Yeah.
waste, okay? I think he just wants to correct E where it says we put that stuff in the old days we used to.
Yeah, I mean, we don't pick up ash or anything like that.
Bulky rubber, scissors, furniture, we don't do that anymore. That's gotta go through this program is what he's trying to do. Okay,
Okay.
I think that makes
Anything you
sense.
need to correct on this?
Right, so I think what we're trying to do is to just, it'll now say bulk waste can be picked up through the city's curbside bulk pickup program. That's different than what's in our current ordinance, which is we used to be able to put it on the curb. We can't do that anymore. And then he just wants to say disposal of construction, demolition debris, commercial bulk waste, hazardous waste, and regular household trash are not eligible for pickup and shall be the responsibility of the owners, because we don't take that
Well,
at curbside.
but I think the confusion is that we have a paid-for bulk pickup program,
And,
where they can put it on the curb if they pay for it.
oh,
But it's just, if I could speak.
Yeah, sure.
So, if we take that out and say disposal of construction, demolition, debris, commercial bulk waste, hazardous waste, and regular household trash are not eligible for pickup through the city curbside bulk pickup program.
Yeah.
So,
Just a bulk pickup, Gary.
bulk pickup,
For bulk pickup, and shall be responsible if you want.
yeah,
Right.
right. So I just wanted to put that in there, so it refers to the bulk, our program.
You correct that? You corrected it?
I did hear that Dan's got the,
Through the chair to our attorney, I guess the only thing that maybe we want to reference is saying something like bulk waste as defined by the city's, or Chicopee, City of Chicopee's bulk waste program, because I think part of it was to kind of help define it, so if somebody did use the ordinances, that, you know, there was a reference to it. So, I mean, I understand about not wanting to, have it, change every time you make a minor change to the bulk waste thing, but I think maybe referencing the city's bulk waste program as defining what that bulk waste is might be, you know, something to have in there, so that if you make a change, it automatically kind of carries over without the city council having to change the ordinance to add something.
And we probably shouldn't reference regular household trash, because that is already some site program.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Is it possible we can just send this back to be worked out between our law department and the DPW? I'm confused on a couple of these things, so I think it should be sent back to them to review and come up with a plan.
Sure.
With Dan, because listening to what Dan's saying, what you're saying, I'm still confused about the household trash part of it. Or not.
It shouldn't be there.
Because it's not part of it, you can't have it picked up and go.
Yeah, I'd like to see if you can make a motion, just to have them work on and come back with a definitive plan.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to postpone the call, Chair.
Yeah, what do you want it to finish then?
Yeah, motion to postpone the call, it sure will be fine.
Okay.
I'll work with Liz and we'll just come up with
Okay.
the proper language.
Okay.
Counselor Singleton?
Yes.
Second?
Does anybody?
Yes.
Double?
Yes.
Oh, is there anybody on Zoom? I'm sorry, is it, Counselor Lopez on Zoom, do you have any comments?
She's got her hand up.
Well, I think they're supposed to reset that every time. I'm sorry, what was that again?
No comments at this time, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Postpone the call of the chair.
Agree?
Yes.
Roy?
We're gonna keep it up.
Okay, that way we don't get lost. Good idea.
Or nothing, yeah.
Everybody sign for it?
Yep, you signed, everybody signed.
Motion to accept for it or nothing?
Yeah, we're all set.
We're all set, okay. All right. Item 4, Chapter 200-4, boom boxes with audio equipment. Add to be the following, as measured at the property line of where the unreasonable noise originates. To read, loud and unreasonable noise defined for the purposes of this section. An unreasonable loud noise is defined as a sound which is greater than 50 decibels in the hours between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. and 70 decibels at other times as measured at the property line of where the unreasonable noise originates, or any sound which is discernible at a distance of 100 feet, provided that such sound is not otherwise authorized by permit or license granted by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts or the city or permission of the chief of police. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Don Flame, Chief of the Police Department. A lot of that is suggested some equipment to help officers do some of their tasks. And one of the items was those decibel meters to help measure sound levels. The manager agreed with me, nice tool to have. When these came in, I put together a little presentation, something fancy for officers to learn how to use the equipment and what ordinances that they would be enforcing. And came across this ordinance that specifies a 50 decibel level and 70 decibel level. It doesn't tell us where we are measuring. I'm not a human decibel meter, but this room with these speakers is probably over 70 decibels. 70 decibels is normal office space, so they're going with that. Now, the sensitivity, measuring at a speaker where music's coming out 200 feet away, is gonna give you a really different response. We're just looking for some guidance as to where we will be measuring these, like, a resident calls to complain that the neighbor has loud music. We're measuring it at the speaker itself, at the window, property line, where the person that's being bothered is, and this doesn't give us any guidance. So I had met with Councilor Cushing about some other issues, brought this up, and he suggested, adding a line as measured at the property line for the underscore measure. Just to give us some guidance so we can enforce this ordinance with some stuff.
Yeah, any questions on that one?
So do you recommend the property line itself?
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you all think, it's one of many residents. It sounds reasonable to me. The only concern I have after reading it would be if we're considering neighboring apartments, dividing wall, property line. Property in which one person has control of versus the other. It's not, property line is defined, I'm not,
Right.
here, it's defined, GIS. In that situation, unless we consider dividing walls between two apartments and property line.
Do you have any ideas, do you need any suggestions to this, or you want to make any changes, or you want to give it a try?
I'm not trying, it's all to you.
Okay. All right, Frank?
I like the idea, again, as Lieutenant Linder said, you can't find everything, but I think it's a start. I think it should be done on any residential property, at the property line. That's their space, to be able to hear it. For example, if someone's across the street, you're on your side, your property line, and you can hear across the street, that's unacceptable. So you want to go on people's property where they can do it right from the property line, staying off the individual's property. So, I think that we should at least try that and see what goes. We all have issues in all throughout the city. Not just that, with, and I know, Councilor, Costello, we dealt with one with, some machinery, on some property. With noise. So I think this is a way to get at least with this equipment and the decibels, we can at least start somewhere with it.
Jim?
Yes, go ahead.
There is a person here that is interested in this particular proposal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Public input?
Sam?
Thank you. The subject this evening is unnecessary loud noise in the operation of a business. The ordinance committee has listed in item 4, boom boxes and audio equipment. There are none that I know of, boom boxes and as far as the hibachi restaurant, I mean, isn't an issue. Boxes are obsolete, I think should be deleted, that's my opinion. Excessive loud mechanical noises coming from the exterior refrigerator unit at the hibachi restaurant. 20. Chapter 275-39 states any building used for dispensing food shall have a minimum setback of 100 feet. Hibachi, right, from the residential line. As stated in tonight's agenda under letter B, loud and unreasonable noise is defined as sound which is greater than 50 decibels in the hours between 11 p. and 7 a. Or any sound which is discernible at a distance of 100 feet. It is discernible. A public records request form was submitted on 9/30/2022 by me regarding the upgrade to the unit, which was done in the year 2015. Wasn't a problem at all prior to that whatsoever. You didn't even know the business existed, which was Quiznos. This upgrade was not permitted. What is the status of this? This again was not a problem until it was upgraded in 2015. Due to the close proximity and how sound travels, this continual noise has diminished my quality of life, my mental health, and peaceful enjoyment. I can't enjoy my backyard, the noise can be heard in my home with my window shut, in my front door on Jacob Street. It's been 5 long years since my original complaint. Nothing has been done to diffuse the noise or correct the problem. Businesses have to operate. I understand that, but if others have to coexist in certain neighborhoods, then nothing has been done. And I'm asking that something be done to diffuse the noise so I and others can regain quality of life. My next door neighbors are residents at 199 moved out because of the problem. And I just have a question regarding our ordinance pertaining to screens which exist behind my fence, providing that there's in my home, there is disrepair, and why ordinance doesn't enforce that when disrepair they're replaced, shouldn't be able to see through them. And, you know, my point is that that does help some with noise. Trees have many benefits. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions of her? No, she's not that interested, I guess. Yeah,
Building department.
yeah.
So I've been trying to deal with the property owner that the restaurant that we're talking about tonight, and they made some progress. I was by the site a couple of days ago, and no, it wasn't, the business wasn't open, but I did go out, and I sat with my vehicle with the window down for about 10 minutes, and they put some screening up on top of the coolers that were, the noise was coming from, and it diminished the noise more than it was before. I personally haven't had a chance to talk to the business owner yet, because I haven't had a chance to get out there, but that's my next step to see. But they are making progress. But I think, I don't know if that changed the noise at all, or are you still hearing it? Okay, so I'm still in the process of working with it. I've been working with it and keeping Mary Beth in the loop on what's going on. So I'm in the process of trying to get it in compliance. There's a language barrier with property owner with me a little bit. I don't think they understand what I'm trying to have them do. I'm trying to do my best to rectify this issue.
Okay. Anything from the police department?
This is in reference to, boxes and audio equipment. Section 8 defines better what boom boxes are. This is really just for loud music, radios, DVDs, mechanical. There's 2 different issues that we're bringing forward today. This one is not related to that, so that's something we can.
Okay.
Another question?
Yeah,
Can I say one more thing?
sure, one more, yes.
Microphone, please.
Could you give her an address? I think we need her name and address too.
She lives right behind,
Right, but she needs to give her name and address.
yeah, name and address for the record, please.
Sandra Cato, 191 Jacob Street.
Thank you.
Right
As
behind it.
far as, you know, revising an ordinance, I also feel that as far as decibels is concerned, and noise in general, that if there's a butters at the businesses like I am, and that whole line, that I think some specifics should be written up, the language should specify business, you know, with butters. It may not disturb the residential. That refrigerator is like right in line with my patio, my sunroom, so I mean, that goes right through my sunroom. Like, it's not, it's awful to have to live that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the building department?
No, I'm just gonna keep working on it and try to get them in compliance, try to get the noise, so we can make this resident happy.
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the health department has their own meter, that's working with the, building department, they work together, it's a different decibel, unit for the, like, with the versus radios and that type of stuff, machinery is totally different, so So I know the health department, I believe this is the same person that we're talking about that I went out to look at. Thank you. And I happened to go in your back, up to your front of the house, and I couldn't hear it, I wasn't gonna go on your property. It could have been that it was low or off, but I was there for 20 minutes, that day, and I didn't hear nothing. But it could have been off too, so I'm not saying that. Yeah, it does shut off. I know it's a compressor, it's high up, you know, it's above the, it is, got a little fence around it, but it does maybe, you know, could be a mention to, Frank and I spoke about it, maybe it's the bushings underneath that are rattling, that's making the whole thing rattle a little bit. So I'm glad Frank's gonna work on it, but I know the health department, has their own decibel meter, that can do that type of equipment in that, so. I'm glad that Frank's still working with the health department on it.
Okay. Since you've been working on it, Frank, is this a reasonable request? Do we need the ordinance?
Yeah, we're just separating them out.
Well, that's a different topic, Shannon, than this one. This one here has to do with the control from the police department.
This is just the boom boxes and the music.
The health department and the building department take care of, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, anything to do with, businesses or home.
Yeah, okay, boom boxes and audio equipment, okay, all right, okay.
The health and building takes care of anything to do with commercial or home or.
Okay.
That falls under their jurisdiction. Police department would have to refer to them to find out what the codes are.
Okay.
Requirements. That is correct, that is correct. And the police department are dealing more with the music noise, a lot of motorcycles and cars and resident engines. That's more of your forte. But anything to do with commercial, residential with noise, falls within the health department.
Okay.
So I'm gonna work with the health department a little closer, we'll get it back out there with the decimal meter, and we'll see where the decimal meters are, and we can report back to council and see how we're making progress.
All right. Yes, sir.
I can completely understand where she's coming from, but this one today is just for, defined in section A, boom boxes, similar equipment,
Yeah.
including audio.
It's just about for that,
Right.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep. You might as well take the whole thing.
Yeah.
I did put it over here, you have to write that, but go ahead.
Call the roll, yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, do you have a question? What is your concern?
No, she's calling the roll.
Oh, calling a roll, okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't getting it.
Councilor
Yes.
Crampton?
Yes.
Calvo?
Yes.
Labrie?
Yes.
Roy?
And that's here.
Okay. 5. And
5, yeah. This one we're gonna do now.
which one is this one?
Okay, we're up to 5.
Okay, who are we doing? Yep. Be ordained a city council at the code of the city of Chicopee for the year 1991 as amended, be and is hereby further amended as follows. Add chapter 169, article 7. Enforcement and violation. The superintendent of public works, the Chicopee Police Department, the Chicopee Building Department, the Chicopee Health Department, the Chicopee Fire Department, or any of their designees shall enforce the Chicopee Health Department, okay, provisions of chapter 169, and shall have the authority to issue citations for any said violations. Any person violating any of the provisions of this article, except where a different penalty is specified, provided shall be liable to a fine of $50 for the first offense, $100 for the second offense, and $500 for the third and subsequent offense within 12-month period. Yeah, well, you want to comment on that?
Right, so Counselor Corshane, essentially what he's trying to do is in chapter 169, unless it's specified otherwise,
the fine schedule for any violation under chapter 169 shall be $50 for the first offense, $100 for the second offense, and $500 for the third. It's the miscellaneous garbage and rubbish and refuge. Essentially, it is illegal dumping. What he's trying to get at is illegal dumpers. Right now, the fine is 25, 50, and 100. He wants the fines to be 50, 100, and for a third or subsequent, 500. Just to put some teeth into the ordinance. Essentially, it's illegal dumping.
I think 500 is a little high, but that's my own opinion, but it does scare people that they have to pay a $500. But going from 50 to 100, then all of a sudden, if they're gonna do the second offense, they're probably gonna do the third offense, you know? But, what do you guys,
I was gonna say, since we have most of those departments here.
I'm in favor of this because we find, that there's certain residents, and I think that's kind of what sparks this, is that, landlords are not controlling their tenants and what they put out curbside. And we have people that regularly, put out excessive amounts of trash and then we don't pick it up because it's not in barrel. And then the neighbors get upset because it gets strewn throughout the street. And so, you know, a $50 fine here, but once you start really coming down on, the fines, with, you know, $500, the landlord probably be like, whoa, you know, let me address this. I think that's where our big issue is. Illegal dumping is a problem throughout the city. We don't, unfortunately, we don't always get to capture who's doing what. We've been more successful lately with, illegal dumping at our textile boxes and not with cameras. But, I think this is good. I think if anybody chooses to repeat the offense a second time, well, shame on them.
can I ask a question, to the attorney, to the chair? So if they don't pay the 500 fine after a certain amount of time, it goes on a lien on the property?
Correct.
Good.
Police?
Questions?
Gary, a lot of these are move outs. They move out at night, leave their stuff on the curb, they're gone, the landlord didn't even know.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
A lot of this is for the,
So this will go back to the landlord.
so this goes right to the landlord.
Right.
I agree as well, if it's cheaper to get a fine out of that road than a dumpster. Probably help throughout the city for bigger cities.
Any other question? Anybody on Zoom?
So, you know, when we're talking about this, if I could, we're talking about the landlord being responsible for their tenants, you're saying, and if they would get fined for it.
Right.
So if you have someone that's moving out in the middle of the night, you're gonna penalize a landlord that doesn't know nothing about that is out there on the curb.
Or the landlord's gotta remove the trash.
Well,
Sure.
so when you're issued a citation, there's an appeal process, and so if there is a justification as to why the trash was there, or the illegal dumping was there, and it wasn't taken care of, when, you know, within 24 hours, because, you know, we sticker it, or we, you know, we issue the citation, they can appeal the citation through the appeal process, through the court process.
So the city clerk hears all appeals?
You know, an individual by the name of Bob George, who is the hearing officer for the.
Okay, thank you.
Drive Frank nuts.
Yeah, if they're for it, I'm okay then.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm in favor of this. I just, think some confusion. I don't think this ordinance changes the liability. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, potential landlord. We don't want to blame somebody who's, you know, landlord, it might not be their fault, but this, the ordinance doesn't change any of that. You know, if it's their fault now, it'll be their fault after or whatever. This just doubles the fines, right, from my understanding.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you. I'll be in favor of this tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we, if I can interject, do
we wanna go 500, why can't we do, if they don't do it in a week, we give them a warning of 250 and then go to the 500. I mean, cause you know, I mean, let me give you an example, someone that owns a piece of property and they're out of town. So you're gonna find someone trying to get a hold of them, and I get the appeal period, and I get Bobby George or whoever. But that's a lot of money for someone that, is out of town, he's talking more of, it was mentioned that, you know, it's, they leave during the night. They throw their stuff out there and they leave during the night. It's never happened to me, and, but it does happen to people, I get that, but I'm just saying, what is some, we have other issues with sidewalks not being shoveled. People are going away because they hired somebody, but they didn't do it, so it's, you know, it's just, I just want to be fair to everybody.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
So, a few years ago, when we talked about citations, for individuals with, you know, leaving stuff on the curb, CW has a policy that we do, we sticker, we write a letter or warning. Then, when nothing's been done, then we start citing them. They don't get just cited immediately. It's for lack of doing anything about it.
Okay, through the chair, how long does that three things go? One day? You do, well, I'm asking, how long does you do the first, second, and third before we're gonna give a $500 ticket?
Well, the first, these are offenses, so there's a single offense, it doesn't say per day, it's not like you're getting fined per day, so it's per offense, so I suppose your first offense, if you got to the ticket process, right, so if you got the sticker and nothing was done about it, technically within 24 hours, then you get a warning, a letter, right, and probably gives you maybe a week to get rid of stuff. If you don't do it, and it's now a citation for offense, I mean, you can't, there's no real language that says in there how long wait for the ticket.
I just want to make sure
This
we're
is
clear.
offenses, so if this person would have to commit the offense quite a few times before, with a lot of notifications before they get hit with $500 fine.
Okay, if I can step back, you're saying if that person offends,
That's what
if
you're
someone
here all
owns the
night.
property and he's renting it out,
Move this along.
okay, he's had no knowledge of
We're gonna be here all
the offense.
I think John kind of used a
Nothing.
really, not,
gonna go
bad example, that is
This
not
stuff's
a
gonna
normal
go fast.
occurrence.
No,
when
I hope.
somebody just moves out in the middle of the night and leaves all their stuff on the curb. Typically residents, or as a landlord myself, your tenant has to give you notice that you're gonna move out unless you're being evicted, right? Unless you're being evicted. And then, even then, I'm gonna tell you, if your tenant is gonna leave stuff, you're not gonna leave it on the curb, they're gonna leave it in the apartment. You know,
I just want to make sure it's there.
I think for what the purpose of this, this article is for, I think, just increasing the fines just kind of gives it a little bit more weight in hopes that we have more compliance with it.
Well, the speaker works, we do a lot of, the price of fines and so.
Well, President O'Flynn, if I can, in my car.
Through the chair.
Through the chair, if I could.
Yep. Go ahead.
In my car right now, I've got stickers, I've got everything, in my own personal car, I drive out, you call me on Granby Road, there's a couch, I will go, I will ticket that couch, I will knock on that door, nobody comes, I put the ordinances attached to that. I put in my pad, I will give them 48 hours. In 48 hours, I'm driving back by that house, that couch is not removed, they will get another sticker, another attempt to knock on the door. At that point, we will write a ticket. There's almost 4 days that they couldn't remove a couch, or a love seat, or a mattress. Okay, that people have to look at, that we get called on all the time. At that point, they will get a ticket. So it's not that we're not trying to let them go. I've had a resident on Oakwood that called me every day, and now they've got it in the front yard. Off of our tree belt, we're good. So I tell the health department, now you're gonna get a phone call, because they moved it off the tree belt, and it's in the front yard. That's the health department.
So we have a policy how we do this for anybody. It's all one thing.
What I see, what I do, this is what
Well,
I,
I see what you're doing, John, but my point is this everybody that works for the DPW follows the same?
our trash guys,
Ticket and everything.
And
Well,
our,
they're not sticking it. They're
no, that's not taking, putting a
Right.
sticker on.
They
They
put a
stick all
sticker,
stickers.
attach
And
it.
they already should be stickering off.
I'm all set. If you want to read it, I just want to make sure there's a process that gives everybody, even a homeowner, some time that has peace of
I don't drive by 3 times in one day and throw a $500 ticket.
All right, thank you. Thanks.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Is anybody on Zoom? Council Lopez?
No, that's what on the last time, yeah. I think
I'm,
she got
I'm
tired
on
of
Zoom, but I don't have any comments.
Thank you.
Counselor Singleton,
it. Yes.
Francis,
Yes.
Elmos,
Yes.
Bree,
Yes.
Roy.
Where is it? What is it? Like which order? Do you know which order? Several of them that you already went through. Oh. Jim, do you have a, from Counselor Corshane in one of those? Right. Does Counselor Corshane sent the committee a letter? I
He
didn't.
sent the whole page full of things. I don't know what I do with it. He did send something, yeah.
All of his requested orders passed except one that's in the law department, so I'll explain that then, but we should read the letter in.
Well, he just asked that he had called me and said.
It's here on the first item.
I believe we get on behalf of you.
Absolutely. Yep.
No, I'm just looking in the first item to see if it's possibly in there.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh, you got the letter?
I got the letter. We'll make that part of the meeting minutes too. I think we voted for both of them, I think.
Right, so I'll read it into the record. Dear Chairman Tillotson, due to the last minute change of the ordinance meeting date, I'm unable to attend as I will be working. I wanted to take a moment to speak to my proposed ordinance changes on your agenda tonight. If you could read said notices into the record as each item comes up, I would appreciate it. Item number 3. So item number 3 was the item that was talked about the city curbside bulk pickup program. And you may recall that was, a motion was seconded and approved to send that to the law department for further review. But his comment on item number 3 was, our current ordinance contradicts our current program. The language is directly from our current bulk pickup program with the current exclusions added. So that item, I think he wanted passed, but I will make the revisions and I'll bring it back to the committee at our next meeting. Item number 4 that he talked about was the boom box and audio equipment. That proposed ordinance change did pass, but his comment was, it was brought to my attention in a meeting with Lieutenant Laflamme that there was no way to enforce the restrictions on decibels, as the current ordinance does not state from which point they should be measured. This will address that oversight and make the ordinance enforceable as agreed to by Lieutenant Laflamme. And again, that was passed by the committee. Item number 5, which was the one we just spoke about, which is the increase of the penalties for section 165, chapter 169. Item number 5, I attempt to deal with a new problem property due to the lack of code enforcement officer. I took the advice of Attorney Garvey and the DPW superintendent to add the new fine structure that was proposed. So again, that was his comment on item number 5, and again, that was passed by this committee. So we're on item number 6. Did you want me to read his comment before you read it in?
Might as well.
Item number 6, without the passage of this ballot question, we are violating the law if we plow or patch private roads. As you know, we cannot expend public money for private roads. The law does, however, allow us to plow and patch private roads that have public access, but only if we adopt Chapter 40, Section C. The procedure to do this is in Chapter 40C, Section D, which is before you tonight. I have reached out to all the parties that were concerned about this, and we have not received any replies. Please know the passage of this ordinance does not obligate the city to plow or pass these roads, but merely allows us if we choose to without breaking the law. That was his comment for item number 6, which we're taking up now.
Yeah.
So you have to read item 6 into the record.
Yeah. Be it ordained that the following question shall be placed on the November 7th ballot, November 7th, 2023, that's a year from now. Shall the city of Chicopee vote to accept the provisions of section C of chapter 40 of the general laws which authorize cities and towns to appropriate money for removal of snow and ice from private ways wherein opened into public use? Have some comments on that one?
Thank you. So, Councilor James, he did not reach out to me for my input prior to this going to city council. So I had asked, when Councilor Klein reached out to me about my thoughts on this, I had asked if this goes to ordinance. And, Attorney already also asked me about it, and I said I would like an opportunity to comment, and I would appreciate if this went to ordinance. I understand that this isn't a definitive change, it's saying for it to really have it, but I want you guys to consider what the ramifications could be if we were to put this to ballot and then this were to be adopted. So, private roads, I was able to look it up, and we have around plus or minus 60, okay? And, these could be a numerous, you know, they could be that they're actually narrow, roads that we've never accepted because they just don't meet the standards. There's property issues, because maybe there's not a defined right of way where, the adjacent properties actually extend across the road. There's several locations like that. Also, when, developers subdivide property, they create a right of way, but there's, requirements through their planning, site plan review and zoning, and through subdivision regulations, that they have to meet certain requirements before the city can take over that road. Problem here is that we be opening ourselves to a lot of liability. I know it doesn't seem like something you're going to form it when you're thinking about, oh, it's just plowing. But if we were to damage any property, if we were to, you know, whether it be the road, anybody, you know, anything, you know, anything within that area that we're now trespassing on, it becomes our liability. As far as, subdivisions, my concern is because we actually have one that we just recently stopped plowing, a road off of Burnett, a subdivision off of Burnett Road, where subdivision is 20 plus years old. The developer, had back when it was originally approved and set a certain dollar amount aside in an account, versus a bond with an account, it's only around $100,000. That road had only been paved with the, base course, which is not intended for direct travel over an extended period of time, so now 20 years or so of travel, that is all cracked. And now, the only way to, pave that entirely is a developer is gonna have to remove all of that pavement and repave the entire road. 100,000, not even a quarter of the road could be done at $100,000. So, the reason that he didn't put any pressure on him to get the road paved properly is because the city was plowing it. We were doing everything for him, and he didn't have to invest those dollars in it, and he just kept waiting until he could build more houses and build more houses. Now the development is nearly complete. There's no more houses. There's maybe one lot left, and the road is in disrepair. He can't take ownership of that road. What happens when he now leaves? Those residents now what? What do they do now? You know, is the city now going to be responsible? We're going to take that $100,000 and then what? Have to throw, you know, almost $1 million at it to redo that entire road? That neighborhood, it's not just one road. And I think that by this change, adopting this, that could be what we're opening ourselves up to. Since my tenure at the city, when I became the engineer, we're putting a lot of pressure on developers that if they wanted our services to plow the streets, that they have to get their roads, everything has to be done, completed, so that we could accept the street before a plow touched that road. And you know what? That puts us in a better position because that road is then done appropriately and it's left in a condition that we can now take it over. Not this, binder course cracked all over the place, not, meeting our specifications. So that's my concern. It's, the streets that we can never accept, the property, entering on private property, because a lot of them, that's the issue. And, I just think there's a liability associated with it, especially during winter conditions and the plowing. I mean, we break curves sometimes, can't avoid it. We rip up grass, we take out mailboxes, you can't avoid it. Now, you've got that added, liability now, it's like, well, how much of that do you owe in repair? That's my stance on this.
Okay, makes sense. Any questions? Go ahead,
I have a
Gary.
question. This is just to get on the ballot. I know a lot of people don't even know that some of our roads aren't accepted. Some of the people that live on some of these roads don't know that they're not accepted roads. So this is gonna go on the ballot. I don't know if people are gonna have enough, information or, educational information to make a decision on that. So I'd like to hear somebody else's input also on that, because, if it goes on the ballot and it says that we have to appropriate the money to remove the snow, that's gonna go against your, Burnett Road, development. And other roads, but we're never gonna get a lot of roads accepted. There's roads out there that, I don't wanna name them, but I'm always calling a DPW about them. But I don't know, I'd like to see what everybody else thinks about it, but I don't think that the general public would have enough education or information about, what a public, road is and what a private road is.
Yeah. Frank, he had his hand up first.
Oh, I'm sorry, just real quick, I just wanted to agree with Councilor Labrie. I'm not in favor of this tonight. I don't think, if this went to a ballot, I don't think the public would have enough information. I don't think they would understand it. I don't think it would pass. And I agree with the superintendent. I honestly, I don't think this was intended for cities. I think an ordinance like this is intended for smaller towns where, a private road might be more crucial, because the public might need certain private roads in a small town.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, because I was also at the MMA with Councilor Porchane. So I'm not in favor of this tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
No, you go. Quick question through our attorney. I know in the past when questions have come up about putting stuff on the ballot, is there also an option, which I'd be hard pressed to see it happening, but is there also an option where people were that interested, they could go and get a petition and put it on the ballot that way? Because I know there were always two ways to get a ballot question. One was through the city council putting it on, and the other was through a petition, that if you got a certain number of signatures, you could put it on the ballot, that would automatically go on the ballot.
I would think that general rule would apply here,
Okay.
that if we decided not to put it on the ballot, there is another mechanism for the residents of the city to do that.
Okay.
That's a general rule, so I don't know why it wouldn't apply in this case.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree with my colleagues that I think you're right. It probably was a small town type of thing, but in this case, I just worry about opening us up to liability, with it. That's all I have to say, and Councilor Laflamme can go.
Thank you. I kind of agree with, not, approving to go on the ballot because, there's a lot to understand here for the taxpayers. But listening to Liz talk, and listening to the city councilors of the, committee, town versus city, I think this is a state, when I went to the MAA, when we were discussing, it has to do with not just cities, and it has to do with towns and cities. But we do have, streets in the city, Chicopee, and I talked to you earlier, is I am really concerned about, they've been being plowed for years and years and years. So my question to Deanne is there a way that we can choose what streets we feel safe to do? And the reason I say that is because of the fact that, you know, I can remember Jim Phillipson's, when we were doing chapter 90s, to get more chapter 90 money, we were looking over streets. And we come to find out, Jim Street, Harvey Street was 50 years that it was never accepted. About 50, Jim?
Yeah, it was a while. I think it was done before that, but, yeah.
Well, I think about 30 years, if I remember. It was a long time, and we didn't know it. And we were trying to, I think we did 100 streets or something we accepted,
Right.
and to be able to get to chapter 90 money.
Right.
And it's good to get to chapter 90 money.
Yep.
But when we talk about a piece of development, that I agree with, with this, is $100,000 gets you nowhere. If you do it probably 2 driveways today. It don't get you nowhere. So, I am concerned about moving forward in the future. We have to revisit that, of how we bound these people, for monies to accept, because we have to bring that $100,000 up because of the fact that nothing's cheap for no more. It's not going down, and we can't put all this money on the taxpayer, we get stuck with it. But I'm really concerned about, even if we have 50 streets that we've been following all these years, and I mentioned my street, for example, she said that she thinks it's inaccessible.
It's not a private street, I looked it up.
Okay, for a long time, I knew it was a private street because the developer, you know, left the property. So there's a lot of people that don't understand that they bought a house or have a house, and they've been getting plowed all this time, and all of a sudden they're gonna find out that they're not getting plowed anymore because it's a private street or a private way. I get the private ways, I really do. Narrow streets, I have concerns. We buy, smaller trucks for doing sanitation. We buy it for going down small streets. So I guess, I'd like to see this reviewed some more by DPW and the law department, because I want to know, if I'm going to vote on next Tuesday, who it affects and why it affects these people. I do agree with the one that didn't finish the development, absolutely. But how many people is this going to really affect? That's what I want to look at, because it's not fair for the people that don't know about it. As she mentioned, there's only a couple of developments, some people in that street probably don't even know that their street isn't. So, again, is there a way we can, do certain streets, or do we have to accept it all? If we accepted the non-private roads and private streets?
Opens the door to the whole thing.
I'll have to look into it. I'm not exactly sure, but this just authorizes you to appropriate money to continue to plow those streets or plow those streets. So I don't have the answer. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I have a ball I'm going here with, because of the fact that I agree, the developer didn't do their job. Why should we do it? But we have people that lived in here for 30 years, well, let's say 10 years even. People that bought a house didn't know. They don't get told that, by the way. Look at what happened up here with the trees up and that they had to add to properties that didn't know they were done after the fact. So I just have some concerns. I don't know what to do with it. But I want to follow the law.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that, since I've been superintendent, we have been, very diligent on not plowing private ways. So I don't know if there's actually anybody who would be now impacted because we stopped, because we have stopped. And if they're being plowed, it's because somebody is plowing it for them, it's not a city plow. As far as $100,000, there's a different mechanism now. That was the old way. They had them set money aside in an account. Now there's a bond, and there's a hold on lots, on building lots. That's how they now control, the completion of the right of way. But unfortunately, before,
So, if she's saying it's only a few, we're not doing them, I would just ask, if I can get a copy of those streets that are probably in, we're not doing, please. And if that's the case, I'm in favor of tonight of going on what, Liz has just spoken about.
I think we have a motion on the floor. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess, do we wanna postpone it,
I'd like to
call the chair, or
postpone it,
do?
call it a chair till we get more information on it.
All right.
Because it says, you know, the way it's read, it's, I don't know which is private and which is not private at this point, you know?
Did you already make a motion,
No,
or
no, no,
you
I
just kind of suggesting?
I didn't make a motion.
All right, I guess I'll make a motion to postpone to the call of the chair
Okay,
for further review by the law department, and
yeah.
How many times have we plowed this year, John? Come on.
Counselor Singleton,
Yes.
Francis,
yes.
Bobo,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Lawrence.
Sign here.
Okay. I'm usually the last one to sign, that's why I'm late.
Hey, it's your first time back, so we get it.
That's good, we're keeping it in order.
Yeah, order 7, be it ordered that the ordinance committee review the current tag sale policy. Yeah, Frank, I know it's yours, I'm gonna pass these around so that they'll have copies of what we're talking about. That one in the wrong file.
Yeah, thank you. Mary Beth get one?
I need some minutes. I got one.
Okay, we'll get started. My administrative assistant will have to sit down.
Wait till you get home.
The problem with the tax sale, I've been with it for a long time, having been one of the longest serving counselors at this time.
Did you read the order?
I think it just needs.
Oh, yeah, the problem is, number one, there's no payment for it, there's no record of it. They're supposed to have only 3 a year.
He did read it.
There's only one person it has to enforce it, or should enforce it, in the city, and that is sitting with us tonight, the building inspector. He's responding for enforcing, but he's not, I don't think there's anybody else. Building inspector is the only one under enforcement, 244-5. So, and 90%, I would guess, of the people who have tag sales have them on a weekend. He doesn't work on a weekend. You don't work Saturday and Sunday,
I
do
do
you?
not, but I do get the phone calls on Monday morning on what happened over the weekend.
Yeah, but that's a dollar too late.
It is an hour too late, but
Yeah.
it's continuing, so I think.
Yeah, I think that's one of the weaknesses of, one man can't be the enforcer of the whole city. And most of them are on Saturday and Sunday, the tag sale. We don't charge anything for a license to have one. And we tell them we can only have 3. And we have a tough time keeping track of 3. How do you know that Mary Jones has had one and then 2 months later she has another one? The average voter doesn't know that they're only supposed to have 3. So it's a problem. You put this on the agenda, right, Frank?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so go ahead,
Thank you. So I've been having a conversation with, Frank Oran from the building department, last year actually, because, several, of us know about certain issues in certain wards, I'm not gonna mention them, in wards that, we have no mechanism. So you mentioned, Jim, that he only works during the week. So what I'm trying to do, and I don't think we're going to do it all tonight, I like to work with the law department, but I want to just pass it on, is, for example, if someone's saying that they're having an estate sale, they all gotta be defined as one, whether it's a estate sale, tag sale, or anything like that. And I see that we have 3, and the issue is, we're finding, and I guess through the law department, through Ian, when someone has an estate sale, for example, the estate sale, can we make it part of the property? In other words, there's people out there that are going by estate sales and having weekend sales. I know for a fact. And this is creating a problem in some of the neighborhoods because they're taking it from cleaning out a house or something, and they're bringing it to their property and they're having a estate sale. Not for tag sale, they put estate sales, which is, it's in here. But the issue is, can we make it, I know it's hard to do, what I'm trying to do is, every time we call the police department, they can't really do nothing, they can go and document it. So I'm looking to put in here something that allows the police department, for example, if Gary calls for more days, says, hey, I know for a fact this is the 3rd time, because you got residents calling and saying, hey, enough's enough. We don't go out there and say, go get a tag sale for 3 times. Most people are pretty polite about, hey, one weekend they're gonna do it, get rid of some stuff. But what happens in certain areas, and I know it for a long time, there's nobody on weekends to do it. So I'm looking to put there and see if we can work with the police department, where we put down that Gary could call, for example, Ward 8 and say, hey, listen, I want you to just document it for me. If it's been documented, we get more than 3 times, we'll have that. Because we don't want to have somebody coming, like, from the building department, very little happens during the week. It's always on weekends.
Yeah.
So if we have the mechanism for a police officer, and I've had it happen to me, say, well, how many times? I said, I know he's done it 3 or 4 times. Well, that's your, there's no documentation. So if we can work with the police department and just have them document it, and get back there when the city council wants to find out about it, say how many times we can have that recorded. So that would be a mechanism in here, so we can stop this every week. Some people have them every week, and it's not a problem with them having it, it's the traffic. And the second part of it is, people feel, and I realized it when I used to go to some tags, some antique tools and that, but you're looking at other people's backyards all the time. They have in their, you're going up the driveway, you're looking at other people's private backyards all the time, and they're getting frustrated. So I'm looking to see something where we can do that, man, where we can get the police department to help record them. And then when the 3rd night, then we start fighting after you know what, you want to challenge us here. We have it recorded that we've been doing it 3 times, more than 3 times, and we're gonna find it. But there is no fine on there, other than the I think it's $25. $50. The violation of the chapter results in a $50 fine. It's not even that, it's just getting to the stop. Because what happens is, this gentleman, Gary, goes here, across the street and does it. Both sides of the street, and it's gotta stop. So that's why I'm sure Tim trying to figure something out here, as you mentioned right from the beginning, Jim. One man can't do it, and, he works Monday through Friday, he's got banker's hours. So, we gotta have somebody for the weekend in order to be able to document it. So that's why I wanna try to work with something with that. That's okay.
It's just a suggestion.
The one thing I think we gotta look at now too is estate. An estate sale is not the same as a tag sale.
Correct, that's.
Two different laws. And, yeah, so we gotta separate those out, because an estate sale, if somebody has died and it's a legitimate estate sale, they have a right to, their rules and regulations are different than a tag sale.
Well, it's actually another thing, the state sale, it's in here already.
Yeah, but I don't think it's valid anymore.
I think it is.
Well, I'm gonna have Dan to look into it.
Yeah, I mean, however you define what you're trying to do, it's the sale of goods, used goods on your private property. So we've listed it as attic sale, yard sale, estate sale, tag sale, sellers. So I think if you're selling goods from your primary residence, that's considered within the jurisdiction of this ordinance.
Yeah, I'm just asking you to look into, see if it's still legal, because as I recall, having read recently that an estate sale is considered different. It's when somebody dies and they, want to get rid of their belongings. There's no restrictions on them. They can put their stuff out and sell it all, but, so you can check that out for me.
I will, I'll check.
To make sure I got the right information.
And if that's the case, Jim, if that's the case, that's fine, but I don't think it is, but we'll look at that.
Yeah,
But if
right.
it's not, I think we should define something that says an estate sale on the premises.
So I think what we got is okay, but I don't think it's legal anymore. But he's gonna check it out for us, so we know what we're doing.
But I still would also look at something we could put in there that allows the police department to document this, actually request it to document.
Yeah, as long as we define what an estate sale is, then, we can do that. That would have to be taken care of in a different matter, you know, but, I'm pretty sure an estate sale now is different than a tag sale, but you can check it out there.
Sure, I guess we'd have the building, so how do you enforce this ordinance?
Correct, so I want to speak with, Mr. Wilson about an estate sale and tax sale. So most of the time when I see an estate sale, the items are in the house or in the garage or in the property. Most tax sales, everybody brings the stuff out into the driveway or into the garage. So when they have an estate sale, it's mostly belongings are still in the house, people come in and they do the estate most of the time, 90% of the time. The tag sales are the issue where people are putting a lot of stuff out on the property, and they're even leaving the stuff out overnight, and they're not covering it, and then when they don't sell the product, they put it by the curb, and now the DPW gets a call from the neighbors, to come clean it up.
Okay, but I just think we ought to protect ourselves, because somebody could tell you that it's an estate sale, not a tag sale. Now you can stand out there and fight with them.
But I think the purpose is whether you define it as an estate or a tag sale, the maximum is 3. So if you
Yeah.
want to have 3, it's 2 estate sales and a tag sale, that's fine. You have another tag sale and or estate sale, you're in violation, but
So there's times where I go to residents and I hand them the rules and regulations that they're supposed to follow. And most of the time, the argument is, it says right here, from 8 to 5, 3 days, but it says 72 hours. So I have people telling me, well, I only did it for 8 hours this day, and I did it for 8 hours this day. So they think they can do it for 72 hours, but it really just says 3 days, 8 to 5.
Okay,
So that 72-hour period, and if we take 3 days times 24, 72 hours. But they're not doing the tag sale in the middle of the night, and no one's going out looking at tag sales in the middle of the night. So I think that 72-hour period is a problem. I also did some research in some other towns that they do get permits for tag sales, and we don't have to charge a fee, but at least we'll get a document and we know that there was a tag sale on that property. So my recollection would be to try to have people pull a permit for a tag sale, we wouldn't charge them a fee, but it's documented. And then we can figure out, usually what I found out that most of the permits for tag sales and other surrounding communities are done to the clerk's office, and the police department patrols them. And then we work with the building department also. So that's just one of my suggestions, that to try to make this a little bit better, because it seems, I've been working for the city for 13 years in this department, so it seems like tag sales are getting more and more and more. And I've even had people
because
do
money's
tag
tight.
sales in parking lots on commercial properties that I have to stop, and then I get an argument with them because they got permission from the property owner, but it's really not allowed in our regulation to do in a parking lot. Next thing you know, I get a call from a neighbor, the same person that was in the parking lot, is now doing it at their home every day. on the weekend. So there's some repeat offenders that just are not following the regulations, and it'd be nice to maybe have a little bit of help from the police department to try to patrol this over the weekends.
Yeah, they're only supposed to have 3 in a year.
3 a year, but that 72 hours, they argue with me. Well, I only did it for 8 hours this day and 8 hours that day, so I, still got 50 hours to do my tax payment. So,
Yeah, yes, sir, yes.
It defines the period, though.
yeah,
Right. Well, what we're trying to say is, one period is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 to 5. That's one.
yeah.
I don't know how they're confusing that,
Well,
but.
they're confusing because they see that 72 hours, and they're not reading it correctly.
Lieutenant, did you want to say something?
Yeah, 72
I
hours.
guess you could say 3 days, 3 continuous days.
I think we have a system to have permitting, even if we don't charge the residents, at least we can keep track of it.
Yeah, the Lieutenant wants to speak.
Yeah, I know the city uses a couple different systems for permits. I know part of permitize for certain things. And I know it's not used much, but you're allowed to have dumpsters in the streets. It's not cost anything, you still need a permit. The only thing is there are a lot of people that own different properties, maybe suggesting limiting it to amounts per person over the course of the year. If you own 10 properties and you want to have a tax on all 10, you have 30 tax sales.
Yeah, but the ordinance says only 3.
But if you own per property.
Yeah, property, yeah.
What's that?
That's per property.
Yeah.
So if you own 10 different properties as a landlord, you can now have 3.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Limited
Yeah.
to 3 per. That's just,
Yeah.
90% of the time, these are done with residential, single-family homes. I don't see a lot of multi-family homes, maybe a duplex now, they don't have a tax sale, but most of the multi-families that are 3 and up don't have the room to store type of items. So I don't usually see a lot of multi-family kind of tax sales, it's usually single-family homes.
You gotta have it per residential property, because then you're gonna get into, that was my wife's tag sale, this is my tag sale, so you gotta I understand there's a possibility that people may own multiple properties. I mean, we can't, there's no way for us to regulate all of it. You gotta say a principal residence, otherwise if you say per person, if you say anything other than a residential address, that's my son's tax sale, that's my wife's tax sale, that's my husband's tax sale, that's my cat's tax sale. So it's per residential, we gotta keep that. We can change everything, but I think that is important.
Everybody's always got a story, so I've had it where this lady did it one weekend for 3 days, and the following weekend I caught her again, and she said it was my sister's tax sale.
Right, but it's residential property.
Live with her, so.
Right.
I'm like, I mean, I don't drive a cruiser, I don't have a badge, I don't have a gun, it's 22.
Right.
It's 22, I'm like that, when we had it, on one side of the street, and then on the other side of the street. Okay, go back, or on this side of the street, they go back and forth. This is ongoing. But I'm looking to just be able to somewhat, make it comfortable for the residents that live around each tax sale. That if we document, some have 5, 6, 7, 8 a year, that's gotta stop. So I think if we can work on this more, I'd like to work with the building department, Jim, if we could stay with it. But I just wanna bring forth the ideas and work, with it on it and try to, come up with some more ideas on how to regulate it so that we can make sure they only have 3, because it's impossible for all of us, but at least the ward counselor and us at large will have a little bit more teeth in knowing how many they have documented.
So you suggest that we, what would be your suggestion then?
I would like to table to the college here, work with the attorney on the team.
We'll use the word postpone, all right?
College here hearing.
Okay,
Motion to postpone or to call it a chair.
Councilor Tillotson,
yes.
Rabbit,
Yes.
Double.
Yes.
Labrie.
Yes.
Moore.
Okay.
Item 8, Woodbury Avenue.
Yep, just make sure I got it, okay. Next order of business, did we call the roll on that one?
Yep, Rob.
Okay. Is, Woodbury Avenue heading east to Memorial Drive for a distance of 75 feet. No comments from the engineer. It's, park prohibited at any time. I don't think there's much discussion on that one.
Whose order was it?
It's Ward 9.
You have a comment? Okay, all right.
This is good, thanks.
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Deletion, right?
Is it deletion or?
Deletion?
Delete.
No, wait, well, yeah, approve the ordinance to delete
Delete.
Yeah.
or strike.
Are the signs up, or are there no signs up?
There's a sign coming down.
Still coming down, okay.
Counselor Singleton?
Yes.
Rapids?
Yes.
Stoll?
Yes.
Labrie?
Yes.
Yeah, did I give you the folder for that one?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Woodbury Avenue, south side for a distance of 165 feet, westerly from Memorial Drive, parking prohibited. Any discussion on that?
That would be Mary Beth.
Mary
No,
Beth?
fine.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Motion to approve the ordinance.
Counselor Singleton?
Yes.
Rapids?
Yes.
Stoll?
Yes.
Labrie?
Yes.
Lloyd?
The next one is, let's see, I do that what you're doing. Woodbury Avenue, south side for a distance of 165 feet. It's been changed. The Councilor Piniac Costello asked me to look into it. This proposed ordinance, the revised distance extends to no parking zone on the south side of Woodbury Avenue from Memorial Drive past the Aspen Square Apartments to the easterly driveway at 87 Woodbury Avenue. Mary Beth Costello?
Yeah, we just passed it out, so I think that was.
We're all set with that one,
Yeah, we're up
okay.
to 10.
Okay, set with that one.
That's number 10. This one's, this is a different street. Borbeau, please pronounce
Yeah,
that?
we're up to 10.
Different, number 10's a different street. Borbeau. That's Shane.
Type 60, and this would be for, parking outside street, the corner of Prospect Street.
Okay, so this is correct, this one was done, item number 10, the way it is now?
Well, there is a comment by Counselor Corshane. It said Doug Ellis's change to 50 feet is favorable to me. So I think in Doug's comments, he wants it changed from 25 to 50.
50 feet, yes.
50
right.
feet, okay, so that's what I was wondering.
I'll make a motion to approve with changes.
Okay,
Oh, and for the record, DPW engineer Doug Ellis called me prior to the meeting saying he was not able to attend because he went home sick.
okay.
That's why he's not here.
Oh, he sent in the information anyway.
He sent it in, but he wanted,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
what's that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I made a motion.
Yeah.
Counselor Singleton?
Yes,
Rapids?
Yes.
Stoll?
Yes.
Labrie?
Yes.
Lloyd?
Number 11.
Cherryville Street. Dead end east side. I think I changed.
That's an, isolated stop sign. We have to change that one.
I gotta find out what I do with my pin I dropped on the floor.
So should be a motion to change the check isolated stop sign.
Or this is one of the, here, not 11?
Yes, I have 11. So he wants to change it to east side.
He doesn't like the word dead end, for, so that's not a surprise.
He wants to change it to east side.
East, this up here.
Yeah. Right, is that what he wants?
Didn't see his comments.
This
I
is,
think he wanted it more detailed. I think that's
this is, what is,
that order was.
this is
Yeah, that's
number
it.
11.
Oh, that's 11, that's a minute, so. He wants it 10.
On our agenda, Cherryville is number 11.
Oh, screening number 11.
That's Cherryville right there.
Oh, yeah, this is 11. It's pretty hard to read it when it's closed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's an isolated stop sign, but on the order,
Yeah.
it was checked parking regulation, it should be checked.
Isolated stop sign, okay.
So that was an amendment. Well, I think he wanted it to read what the notes are, that he wanted it Cherryvale Street, direction of travel south at intersection of New Ludlow Road, isolated stop sign with stop bar. So I think he wanted that to replace what was.
He never uses the word dead end, though.
The motion will approve with changes.
Okay?
This is, okay, sure. Mr. Chair.
Worthy Chairman,
Yes,
if I could speak on this one.
go ahead.
Counselor Costello came into the office. This is not just as easy as putting up an isolated stop sign. This is gonna be in a safety program or a safety plan that we have, citywide. If you go up there, it's all hard. There's parking lot everywhere. It'd be like us putting a stop sign in the middle of a parking lot. It won't do anything because where the accidents are coming, people are running through that, parking lot, and the accidents are happening, and not even going to the end of Cherryville. So this is a major, safety improvement that we are putting on a safety improvement project. I don't know why the engineer didn't say that, but I talked to Chris Shaven this morning, and there is a safety plan for this. Counselor Costello came into the office and we told her this was gonna be not just as easy as putting up an isolated stop sign with a stop bar.
Okay, why don't we just postpone this to the call of the chair then?
Before you guys go through a lot, I mean, and unless Counselor Costello wants to speak to it, but this is not just as easy as putting a stop sign. This is coming-
I believe they're adding an island or something like that.
We've gotta do a lot of work.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
You still need the ordinance though, or that's part of that?
Can this be changed in the ordinance in the future, or do we need to defeat the ordinance?
That's defeated.
Think we should defeat the ordinance here.
I would say let it go to the call of the chair, and then once we get the safety program in place, and it comes before the city council, you'll know what we're doing. We're probably gonna have to put up guardrails, islands, a lot of things up there. And if you just travel that area, you'll see why this is just not so simple as putting a stop sign.
Okay, so what's your recommendation?
I think we should call the chair, because of the fact that this is gonna be part of the mayor's money too, that we're gonna need the appropriation for.
Okay, call it a chair, it's fine.
Oh, Mary Beth.
If I may, I appreciate John Bollier's, input on this, because it is more of just a stop sign issue, it's a safety issue. And when I met with both the superintendent and Mr. Bollier, they indicated that to me. So, I'm relying on his expertise tonight, how we should handle this. Thank you.
We'll keep it to the call of the chair, we'll keep it active.
Okay, all right, thank
Yeah,
you.
we're gonna postpone it to the call of the chair.
Motion, I'll make that
Because
motion.
when I spoke to Doug Ellis, he had mentioned that putting it where it would get like hit, knocked down, to be on an island with the other improvements, so.
Thank you. Yeah. And then we'll follow the money, right?
I'm sorry, Gary, you were making a motion before I?
Yeah, I made a motion, postpone to the call of the chair.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Phillips,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes, January 10th.
To approve the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
You don't have a thing to write on here.
We gotta take a roll.
Roll call, yes.
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 Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Roll call on that?
Roll call, please. We'll wait a moment,
Yes.
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 Yes.